Edits have taken over society. Okay, so we've all seen edits before, and if you say you haven't, stop lying, I've seen the numbers. Edits are short videos with clips of characters and background music, usually with some Playboy Cardi sounds thrown in as well. And the entire point of them are to give you short hits of dopamine and a nostalgic feeling about a show or movie you like. Everybody nowadays has the attention span of a goldfish, and edits have basically taken over society. You cannot scroll through any social media without running into some form of edits. But are edits making society worse or better? Now, rather than leading you down a rabbit hole on the effects of edits on our brains and society, I'll just get straight to the point and explain my reasoning. Edits are pretty bad for you if you spend hours on TikTok or Instagram, but other than that, they're pretty okay. It should be pretty obvious that too much of anything isn't going to be good for you, but with social media, especially edits, the dopamine of just sitting and watching edits for hours is ridiculous. But as long as you don't spend more than like an hour scrolling through edits, you should be fine. Edits can build huge hype around series and even keep entire shows on the forefront of people's minds. A good example is Naruto. Now, Naruto doesn't need video edits to be popular, but Naruto edits go hard. They probably have one of the best community of editors I've ever seen. Like, the amount of work these people are putting in just to make an edit about an orphan with stomach issues is insane. The funny thing is, I don't even like Naruto that much, and to prove it, I'm recording this session outside. What, did you think I'd actually go outside? But seriously, the original Naruto series was fun, but I never really got into it. Eventually though, I gave Naruto another chance because of edits, and honestly, I like it more now. This much more. And Naruto isn't the only one. Another anime that's been blowing up partly because of edits is Breaking Bad, and cause Dean Norris is kind of hilarious. But seriously, I can't name another series that has the same cult following as Breaking Bad, and that's partly because of the edits. Then there's the variety of edits out there. There is an entire fan base for Peppa Pig edits. Like, seriously, and they get more views than me, honestly, which is kind of funny. I definitely didn't spend like an hour scrolling through these edits just to tell myself I'm researching for this video. But the variety is genuinely insane. You can find edits of straight up anything if you just search up the name and put edit behind it on platforms like TikTok. And the effects of these edits on media as a whole is unprecedented. From what I found, fan edits started really getting popular after a certain edit of the Phantom Menace called the Phantom Edit was made, and this particular edit came out in the 2000s, which is 4 years before I was born. The Phantom Edit basically trimmed the movie and made the pacing a little bit better. It really wasn't that crazy of a change, just removing a few scenes that were slowing the pacing down. But somehow that edit single-handedly created a whole community of editors who started making edits of other blockbuster movies like Back to the Future. And this original community grew as social media became popular and blew up when editing software became really cheap. That original community is still around to this day, and they built their own website called fanedit.org if you want to know more. But I'm more interested in edits that spread through social media, which are way less refined and straight up addicted to Playboy Cardi music. These edits might not look like they're doing much for entertainment as a whole, but you'd be surprised about their reach. Case in point, the Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut of Justice League probably wouldn't have happened without edits. Now, most people credit Twitter for the Snyder Cut, but Twitter doesn't really have as big of a reach as you would think. At best, Twitter has around 400 million active users, which sounds like a lot until you consider Instagram and YouTube has over 2 billion. And other than hashtags, the other way a lot of people showed support for the Snyder Cut was through edits. Now, obviously, you can't know the exact amount of impact edits had on the Snyder Cut being made, but I think it was probably one of the biggest factors. If these simple fan edits have enough pull to get an entire movie remade, just imagine all the other things these edits have probably done without anyone noticing. Editing is really easy now. You can literally edit videos on your phone, and a lot of apps like TikTok have editing software built into them. Another important point to keep in mind is that none of these guys are getting paid. Like, barely any people who make edits get paid, and yet the sheer amount of edits on the internet is pretty crazy. It's kind of like people who spend their entire lives debating on Twitter, and good luck doing that anymore since the app is literally owned by a rich toddler now. But as I said before, Twitter is nothing compared to edits, which basically dominate way bigger platforms. The only thing holding fan edits back anymore is monetization. If these editors were actually paid for their work, edits would basically become their own industry. But that's probably never gonna happen since there's no incentive to make these edits monetizable. But something to keep in mind is there is a possibility that edits could get monetized, because there's another industry that has something sort of similar to edits: sampling in music. So sampling is really common in the music industry, where an artist will take a sound or conversation and use it to make a whole song. Now, yeah, anyone who knows anything about sampling is probably calling BS by now, because sampling does create something new, which isn't really the case with fan edits. Fan edits are literally just mixing music together with scenes from a movie. Still, I thought it was worth mentioning, because if editors figured out a way to use these fan edits to create something new, then maybe a whole industry could come out of edits. But for now, that's just wishful thinking. I, like most of you, spend way too much time on social media. I try not to spend more than like a couple of hours, but edits are something that I use to hype myself up sometimes. But I thought it would be interesting to look into what these videos even are and who's making them and whatnot. So yeah, thanks for watching. Alright, I'm actually outside now. So yeah, this was my first video. I'm not sure if I'm gonna make another video with me in it. Probably will. I'm gonna try to make more long videos, but like most of my content, I'm better at making short videos. That's why I make a lot of YouTube shorts and stuff like that. So yeah, if I can figure out another good topic, I'll make another long video. All right, see ya.